Welcome back to BLOCKTV. It's time now for Chain Breakers, a look at those utilizing blockchain to disrupt a significant industry. Today, I'm speaking with Brandon Brown, CEO, and Greg Wickstead, Chief Innovation Officer at Noble Insurance, who have just conducted significant research into a report on the state of crypto investors in the United States. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for inviting us on the show.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. Now, before we get into a little bit about what your research detailed and what's happening there, I understand we have a little video we can take a look at that helps put everything in a bit of context. So let's take a look.
Cryptocurrency. It's exciting, it's volatile, it's unpredictable, and for some, it's already made fortunes. And just maybe it's the future of money itself. So, if you're in it, get ready for one hell of a ride. But one future you might not be imagining is losing it all at a push of a button, losing it all to a hack. So, you think that won't happen, right? Not to you. But a massive $1 billion was stolen from cryptocurrency exchanges last year. Yes, billion. And the hackers are getting ever more sophisticated. No exchange can be 100% safe. So that's why the clever people at Noble have come up with Noble Crypto, the first and only insurance that provides an individual investor up to $50,000 of coverage for cryptocurrency while trading on exchanges. It's simple and straightforward to buy online, with a policy written in plain English that you can read in minutes. We use the best available technologies to remove conflict and the things that make insurance expensive and infuriating. We monitor cryptocurrency exchanges looking for evidence of a hack and providing immediate notice to policyholders when a hack is verified. That means you get affordable premiums, so when an exchange is hacked and your cryptocurrency is stolen, we will process claim payments quickly. When you buy a policy from Noble Crypto, you become part of our insurance revolution. We intend to make insurance a force for good again. So when we have more money than we need to run and keep you insured, you receive a dividend payout as a member. So to make sure that you are the one to profit from your cryptocurrency investments, think about getting protected with Noble Crypto, the regulated insurance carrier owned by the policyholders. Noble Crypto, honorable straight-talking insurance.
All right, so there we've highlighted the solution, but let's talk a little bit about the problem as it stands right now. So in your research, one of the key figures to come out of that report was that just 10% of crypto holders in the United States keep digital currency exclusively offline in cold storage. Why is it you think that number is so low?
I'll answer that one.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll put it in context as well. So there's also 34% that actually have hot and cold wallets as well. So, but for people that really have just keep cold wallets, and they tend to be a lot of new people who've just entered or just purchased crypto for the first time. And I spend a lot of time on social media talking to people, and they're quite engaging. And the rule number one, I think, was somebody once told me when I first talked about this proposition, was never keep anything in a hot wallet. Rule number two was never keep anything in a hot wallet. And number three was follow the first two rules. But it tends to be those younger people, and it's a layer of security. It's like a security blanket. You know, when you want things secure, you want them to feel close to you. So, and that's really the reason why that there's this tranche of people across the US that literally keep it in a cold wallet and keep it next to them with them all the time.
Certainly, I mean, people tend to carry a lot of value potentially with their crypto assets there. They want to keep it close at hand, want to keep it secure, but I suppose much like carrying a big pile of gold on you, it can be a bit dangerous to keep that there just at hand. So I guess now I want to ask about what you guys are doing, which is creating what you've deemed to be the world's first regulated hot wallet policy. Could you detail that and break that concept down a little bit for me?
Yeah, first off, what we did was when we first started the company, there was two valuable aspects that we needed to solve. And the first was we needed to create a product that was going to be a valuable aspect and something that would be very usable in the cryptocurrency community and be able to pull it forward. So we wanted to find something that was going to support it and create some mainstream adoption. The second piece to that was we had to find a way to bridge the gap between what we see in today's world. There's a lot of distrust that happens. There's a lot of miscommunication, confusion, frustration, and overall it's a bad experience. So we wanted to take that piece out of it. And so we had to we used a lot of customer insight, and there's a lot of pain points in insurance, and we wanted to find ways to take those pain points and over the last 2 years, reduce those. And so when we get into the product itself, that gets down into simple to use, it's efficient, We're using technology stack in order to solve a lot of the pain points that exist in insurance. And so we didn't just want to come to the market with a product that was going to be, because a lot of traditional insurers could come in very heavy-handed with a policy that would be very similar to the experience that people use. So we wanted to find that they're used to. So we wanted to find a way to create a different type of experience. And that experience, when we got into the crypto we wanted to find something that was going to be valuable. And to that piece is where there's a lot of confusion around what happens in insurance today, especially around the crypto product, because there's commercial crime policies that exchanges are able to offer, and then there is really nothing that compares to what we're doing in the market today. And that is to insure and protect the cryptocurrency holder up to $50,000 if they're trading on one of our exchanges and they're subject to a hack. So we have approved exchanges. I'm sorry, go ahead, Asher.
No, I was just going to ask, because there are other services that offer some form of crypto insurance that exists in the market. And you seem to be heading that direction anyway, but I wanted you to clarify what you guys do that's different potentially to your other competitors.
Yeah, so we actually cover so the biggest part of the insurance is actually covering the investor while they're trading on an exchange for a hack. Because when you actually dig underneath the hood to a lot of the policies and other movers in the market that you see, it's not actually what it seems. And then it leaves the consumer frustrated, confused, and leading you right back into the same bad experience you're used to. And everyone keeps dancing around the actual covering of a cryptocurrency investor while they're trading on exchange and if they're in a hack position. I've seen some of the competitors that are covering potentially if someone goes out of business. Well, we're doing that as well. But a lot of larger exchanges are the ones that have the majority of the users. And the majority of the users, that's where the most of the protection needs to come in at. And those exchanges are probably not going to go out of business. So you need to find a product that is actually going to supply the coverage that's necessary to a user when they need it most.
Okay, and now this question may appear self-evident, I suppose, to you and others who are sort of very familiar with the system. But for our audience, help us understand, why would you say insurance is so critical in order to get towards that mainstream adoption? And also on that as well, the institutional adoption of crypto that so many are calling for, but still seems to be lacking.
Well, I'm sorry.
Well, go on, you go first, Brandon.
What I was going to say about this mainstream adoption is that insurance, it's a love-hate relationship, and whether you love it or hate it, it is part of the majority of our lives. And so it's what brings us to this level of security that we feel every day. And so the cryptocurrency community is lacking that security that they need in order to bring in the masses of people. And until you can actually provide a policy that is readily available and that's affordable and that's easy to use, that's when you'll actually see mainstream adoption, because insurance will be the foundational building blocks for any industry. Doesn't matter whether it's manufacturing or lending, because a manufacturer is not going to build anything if they can't be insured, and no one's going to buy the product if the product that they buy can't be insured as well. So insurance plays a valuable role in that. And so the cryptocurrency industry does not need the next cool widget or the next cool gaming technology, although those are neat technologies and things can come out of that. But the foundational pieces to that, the keystone will be insurance.
And in terms of, what's lacking today, I look at a recent example, say the Binance hack from earlier this year, in which $40 million worth of cryptocurrencies was stolen from Binance itself. Now, they have their own, self-insurance, it would be termed. Seifu Fund, they said, covered them, and they were able to manage their own coverage. Now, obviously, you guys are taking this to a different step in a different place, but explain the difference to what Binance was doing there and to the approach being put forward by you guys.
Well, we're a fully regulated, at launch, we will be a fully regulated insurance carrier. So there's a big difference between being regulated and having some oversight and then creating a fund of money that is just set aside in the event of a hack. The problem with that is, and it's all they're doing it for the right reasons. The problem with it is that there's no oversight on it, and you can move that money in and out. If you're Binance, for example, like you asked about, they can move that money in and out at their own discretion. So if there's a big project that they want to get into, they can easily pull that out, and it's difficult to see how much is actually in there. And so if the money would not be there one day when the hack is required, when it would be required for a hack, what you'd end up seeing is exchanges operating in a fractional reserve trying to cover that loss, because they really, what you see today is it's a reputational risk that they face, not and a moral obligation, not really a legal obligation. So exchanges are, and it's not the best practice, because the best practice would be having traditional insurers offer commercial crime coverage, and there being more options available, because right now they're few and far between. And so when you're an exchange, you have very limited options. And then if you do qualify, because there's a lot of strict regulations related and guidelines around those policies, if you do qualify for coverage, the issue will be at the time of a hack, they're going to go back to that application. Was there at any point in time, did you misrepresent or fail to disclose? Because we've seen that in some of the other hacks that have happened. Traditional carriers that are offering the commercial crime have a fallback in order to, and they can deny coverage.
And as well, just to clarify as well, at the time of launch, your insurance policy will be available just in the United States, is that correct?
Yes, so we launch in the US, and then we will roll across the United States over the coming months and into early next year. And then we're looking at the next markets after that over the next coming years. So yeah, exciting times.
Certainly, indeed. And could you explain as well a little bit, because I know there's something you guys offer which is, I suppose one could say, unique within the industry, which is your Dividend Program. I want to understand a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, so this goes back to originally when insurance was founded some 5,000 years ago by Chinese merchants, and they would come together, and they would share the risk of shipping their merchandise, and they would share the rewards. So if one ship got lost out of 10, well then it's a good deal, and that's basically where the idea came from. We went back in time and we were thinking how, as Brandon says all the time, and it's such a great thing, is that we're not changing insurance. To change insurance, you literally have to just do it in a different way. And that's what we did. And we just decided, well, these people are supporting us. So, the dividend the monthly premiums get collected. We take a fee for running the organization, the company. We pay out any claims, or whatever's left just simply goes back to them. So it's a way of thanking them for being part of our family, really, and supporting what we do.
It's certainly an interesting idea, I suppose, one seemingly fairly unique in the industry, but perhaps a radical change that many could get behind. I want to pull this conversation back and talk a little bit more about the report that you guys put together. Now, interesting statistics coming out in that, particularly as we already mentioned, that only 10% holding exclusively in a cold wallet. But another interesting fact I found, you say by your own numbers there are 72 million crypto holders in the United States. That's a pretty staggering statistic right there.
Yeah. When you look at that as a whole, it's, and it's a number that we're trying to work on to be absolutely crystal clear that it is the correct number. It's just because people open lots of accounts and they may be dormant. So, actual trading is something that we're trying to get to. It's actually a real position more around that.
So, so then in the case, it's actually really there's a good level of awareness, I suppose I want to get at. You're saying that there is a growing and increased awareness in the United States, specifically regarding cryptocurrencies, regarding Bitcoin as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, the research suggests that in the first 7 months of this year, it added 6.7 million new investors. So yes, it is accelerating, it is growing, and funny enough, women are coming up at 30% now. And back there in the first days when we looked at the historical data, it was an investment that they just didn't make. So there's loads of new entrants and there's new people trying to explore the market. So it's really kind of fizzing with opportunity for people.
And speaking of opportunity, sort of just looking forward in a slightly speculative manner, but still I want to gauge your guys' opinion on this. I mean, with that increased interest, with that increased representation in the crypto markets that you're seeing coming out in your own data, do you foresee the sort of predicted bull run that many are saying will continue throughout 2019 and into 2020 panning out?
You're asking the wrong two people. I mean, Brandon can't even predict the lottery numbers. So, yes, as I said, the marketplace is accelerating. It shows no sign of kind of slowing down. But people are looking to buy. We know what people are saying that they want to buy in the next 12 months and what exchanges they want to use. But as adoption grows, for us, we're going to be there to help them and be their security blanket whilst they're trading on those exchanges. So I'm not the best person to be asking that question to, but we will always be there to help and support them with a great product, really simple product.
Yeah, we're certainly insurance guys at heart.
Yeah.
Some data that gives us a little bit of insight, but I'm sure there's very qualified people we see good things for the future, I can tell you that.
Right, certainly helping to build that ecosystem and structure, so critical and necessary to take cryptos to the next level. Brandon Brown and Greg Wickstead, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on to BLOCKTV to talk to us about your new product and new report that's coming out. Noble Insurance. We'll be watching closely to see what happens there. And of course, stay with us at blocktv.com for all the latest news and information. I'm Asher Westrop Evans. Thanks for watching.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.